right, so for our first round of this workout, we're going to squat. So we've done our warm-up by using lighter squats, we've done some side planks, we've done some med ball slams. So now we're going to be on our squat. I'm going to use the risers here. On our squat, again, to emphasize, our butt is beating the kettlebell down. So the more you lean forward like this and the kettlebell goes down, we're not actually dropping our butt. Our chest and torso are leaning forward. So what we need to do is kind of use that kettlebell as a counterbalance, and I'm literally pulling my butt down, staying up, and you see the different angle on my torso there when I stand up. So I'm going to go 3, 2, 1, up. I know that takes a lot of thought, a lot of intention, and it makes everything harder. We're not in this for the easy part of it, okay? We're in this to work. So let's make the exercise work for us. You should feel it in your core a lot. You should feel your toes are probably going to want to come up. It's important that they need to stay down. You need to be pushing the ground down and spreading. Push and spread with your toes. That'll be challenging. And then you'll feel loading into your hips, glutes, hamstrings as we keep that torso up and then stand. We're going to do 10 there, and then we're going to come to a sled. So we've got a few options here. If we're going to have a sled and we have turf and everything's set great, we're going to load up the sled pretty heavy. We're going to grab just slightly below the top. Keep my abs tight, and I want a strong leg drive. So I've got my body extended, and I'm driving all the way through with a big, long extension. So every time I step, I want to drive that leg back out. Then I want to recycle by bringing my knee way up or forward. Not everybody has a sled. You're more than welcome to grab a steel plate. It's fine. And do the same thing. It's not as much resistance, but you can still get your heart rate up. Just like that, same deal. Bring your knee way up, and then have a big hip extension. You're gonna need to rest for about 2 minutes before this. Your legs are gonna get a big pump, and your heart's gonna beat really hard. So definitely let yourself have 2 to 3 minutes before we come back to our squat and really push it here, using the tempo and the weight as our resistance. We're gonna have 4 total rounds here. Second set, we're gonna be half kneeling in front of the landmine. I've got a pad down here. Whatever leg is down on the ground, 2 things. I'm gonna hold that in my hand, hold that side of my hand, and then I'm gonna have this foot tucked, so it's important that toe's up. Okay, that's gonna give me access to my glute here, which is gonna help me stabilize. And then I'm gonna press up, and then pull back down. Press up, and then actively pull back down. Do not press up and then just let it fall. We don't wanna lean, we don't wanna do all sorts of weird things. If it gets to be too heavy, especially if you don't have a tremendous amount of upper body strength and you don't have a weight on here, just the bar is too heavy, we can go up with 2 and then down extremely slow on that eccentric with 1. So up with 2 and down with 1, or press and then actively pull down. Press, actively pull down. We're going to do 8 of these on each side. So do the right, then switch over to the left. From there, we're going to do a bench lawnmower row. Now, we've had a lot of people that prefer it a lot of different ways. We need to make sure that we're using the bench for support, and then we get the same side leg out of the way. So, I've seen it here. I've got folks that go here. Whatever your preference is, just make sure that we're stable. Okay, we kind of have a tripod stance, whether it's foot, knee, hand, or foot, hand, it doesn't matter. Try to get this leg out of the way. So my left hand is going to row to my left hip. Notice my starting spot here, how I've got the kettlebell on its edge, and I'm reaching way far out. I'm not trying to go straight up and down. I'm reaching forward and then pulling my hand back to my hip. Row, replace. That was not great. Row, replace. There you go. Row, replace. Row, replace. I'm really reaching out, trying to row. We've got 10 each side here. After that, I've got 2 bands set up. So these are 2 bands. I've attached them right on top of each other. They're not connected at all. Okay, I got orange bands, so very light bands. You don't need a whole lot. We're going to stand here, and I'm going to press shoulders back. And then I'm going to return. Extend the shoulder back. If it's easy, take a step back. Make sure that we're not throwing our hips forward. You also, I don't like if we're grabbing the bands a whole lot. So I've tried to slip my hand all the way in here and make fists. Squeeze those shoulder blades together. Once I squeeze those shoulder blades together, I'm actually trying to touch these hands to each other behind my back. Now that'll work out exactly 0 times for you, but it's a good idea of where you want to send your arms on that path. We'll do 12 to 15 here, and then our last move, I know it's a lot in this circuit. We're going to be in the same bridge march that we did last week, but we're going to add a little flair to it. So I'm going to be up in this bridge position, bottom of the shoulder blades on the edge of the bench. And I'm going to use the bench or my hands to hold my head up, squeeze those glutes, and I'm going to reach my elbow towards the ceiling. So my elbow is reaching up the whole time from the ceiling. Make sure you don't sag those hips. Keep them up, keep them active. You're going to find the inside line of your foot, and we're going to march. 1, 2. I'm not in a big hurry. If you want to get a band and put them around your feet, that's not a problem either. But we're getting a lot of core work here. Really reach with those shoulder blades and those elbows and try to reach up. You're going to feel a lot more core that way. If you let those hips sag, it will get really easy. So make sure we keep those hips up. We're going to do 20 total, 10 on each side. So look, that's a long round. You don't have to rush through it. Take your time. I understand it's going to take a while. Half kneeling press. We got the lawnmower row here. We've got our banded shoulder extensions, and then we're going to do our bridge hip marches, okay? So 8 each side, 10 each side, 12 to 15, and then 20 total. We got 4 rounds. Okay, so for our last circuit, we're going to do a kettlebell figure 8 swing. So if these are too challenging or you don't have the coordination to this, feel free to just do a regular kettlebell swing. That's totally fine. But we're going to start in our typical position. I've got a lighter kettlebell that I usually go with. I'm going to hike back, switch behind my leg, and come up and catch here. Notice how I catch. Whatever hand I'm holding, the opposite hand catches the bell here. And then I'm just going to shoot back, switch, and I'm opposite. So I'm hinging, switch behind my leg, catch. Switch behind my leg, catch. Okay? So it's just like this. Nice little pause, throw it up. Nice little pause at the top, catch. So we'll do 8 to 10 on each side. At that point, I'm going to go into the side plank. I'm going to do 2 things on my side plank. If a regular side plank is challenging enough, let's stick there. If you can handle some extra little love, let's get a kettlebell up on the side of our hip like this. And we're going to hold for 20 seconds. 16, 17, 18, 19, and then I'm going to drop the kettlebell. I'm going to lift my leg up. So I'm bringing my knee up into flexion, and I'm abducting a little bitty bit. So I'm bringing it up a little higher. I'm going to hold this for 10. Okay? 10-second hold there. Then I'll switch sides again with the kettlebell on top of my hip here. Make sure that our body's straight. Make sure we're on that ankle. Don't do anything funny with your feet, hips, or shoulder. Keep everything lined for 20. And then I'm here holding for 10. Finally, I've got the hero board, and we're going to do our adduction. So make sure, if you don't have a hero board or a slider, you can do this on a plate, on a slick floor, a towel on a slick floor is fine. And if you wanted to have your stick for safety, that's always a good idea as well. To go to the principles, my feet are going to stay parallel to one another, and I'm going to keep my weight on this leg here, and I'm moving out and pulling in. I do not keep my weight here. A lot of folks are making this move, and all their weight is here. This is super easy. You've got to get your weight out onto that slider, roller, whatever it is. Get that big stretch in here, that tension in the core, and pull it back in. If you go out and get too stuck, that's what the stick is for. Push yourself back in, but I'm not trying to just lean on that stick and make this easy all day. I want to go out and pull in under control. We'll do 8 on each side. And so I'll have 8 on each side here for the figure 8 kettlebell swing. Again, you can do regular kettlebell swing if that's too much. We have our side plank with either just the regular side plank. We can put that weight on our side and do that abduction and hip flexion as well. 20 seconds with the weight, 10 seconds with the flexion, abduction. And then we'll be here on a hero board or a slider or a plate, whatever you have, and we'll do 8 on each side there. We'll get 4 rounds here. You don't have to have a full 2-minute rest. We can kind of keep going on this one, maybe grab a drink or something quick. But keep moving on this one. We'll do 4 rounds here, and that'll finish this out. So if you got questions, shoot it to us. If you had a good workout, let us know. We appreciate you all. Have a good one.